What is up, everyone? Welcome to a trade deadline bench mob and bullish hoops simulcast episode. If you're a Bulls fan listening to this on the bench mob, go check out bullish hoops. If you're a general NBA fan and need more NBA content, and you're listening to the bullish feed, then go check out the bench mob NBA. That's where I do all these trade talks, and I bring on a bunch of other NBA people from around the league and media. But I have Josh with me today. Josh, how's it going, man?
Hey, I'm good, doing good, man. I'm ready to talk some trades.
I should have brought DJ on this one too, so it could have been a full mashup. Because then it would have been you and DJ, who I do the mock trade deadlines with on the bench mob. But we're doing a Bulls version. We already did a Bulls trade deadline pod with DJ and Sydney, actually, in the first iteration of it, the simulcast. So now I'm bringing in Josh into this one. Stevie couldn't make it. Stevie and Josh are gonna combo and be the Bulls front office. So that would have been fun. But I know me and Josh are gonna have a decent argument as well. Let's go down the roster though. Otto Porter, $27.2 million this year, $28.4 million player option next year. Josh, what do you think of Otto in this trade market? Will any team budge? I will tell you from my perspective, they won't. But I'm curious if you think the Bulls think a team will budge.
So I don't think Otto really has too much value considering he can't stay on the court and obviously he's got their player option. But so getting an extra to find a home for Otto would be tough. The Bulls want to move him now, especially when he's only played 10 games this season. He's been pretty bad, and then he's set the rest of the season. So his value must be pretty low. I think maybe if you add him as a filler with another asset and maybe a draft pick, you could probably get something back. But on his own, Otto is probably worth not a lot right now.
Yeah, no, I mean Otto. It's tough. He's injured. He hasn't played. And he's probably going to pick up that option if things don't go well, and things aren't going too well for the Bulls anyway. So I say pick up that cash, Otto Porter, if I were him. Zach LaVine, 19.5 million this year, next year, and the year after that. The way he's playing, I would argue that he is well worth his contract. And also, people still getting mad that not everyone has Zach LaVine on their All-Star ballots. I don't understand. I don't understand the outrage that Bradley Beal and Trae Young are clearly having better statistical seasons. The Wizards' record is not that far behind the Bulls. The Hawks is, but Trae Young is 28-9, even though some of it might be empty. You don't just do that, and how he's doing it is crazy too. So I just wanted to get in a quick little all-star Zach LaVine type discussion in here, Josh. It's not ridiculous to me that he's not an all-star.
Yeah, I mean, it could go either way. The Bulls have been pretty mediocre this season, as you and me both know. But Zach's been balling. I think it's either a toss-up between him or Spencer Dinwiddie. I know Dinwiddie's numbers have been taking a dip lately. And let's keep in mind,
I don't even think
Dinwiddie, the Nets are still negative by quite a bit.
Dinwiddie isn't even in the discussion. It's Zach LaVine, Bradley Beal, and Trae Young fighting out for that last spot or Brogdon even, because I feel like Middleton or Bledsoe is gonna get in. Bledsoe, I would be less inclined to,
Middleton's a forward, and I don't think Bledsoe will get in, just considering. I don't think they're going to give the
position
Bucks 3 All-Stars.
The position doesn't matter when you're on down to the last guy. It's kind of like a free guy,
Oh yeah, but you have to
utility
take
position.
4 guards either way, and then you got the wild card.
That's
Two
that.
wild cards.
We're down to the wild card, is what I'm telling you. We're down to the wild card.
So who are your 4 guards? Before the wild card, who are your 4 guards you're taking? The 2 starters and then the 2 backups before the wild card.
Kemba, Ben Simmons, who else? God damn it! I had this list made already. Who else is there?
Kyle Lowry?
Kyle Lowry, not Kyle Lowry.
Jaylen Brown.
Kemba, Ben Simmons. Is Tatum a guard or?
Tatum's a forward. A forward, yeah.
All right. Well, we're not doing it all. We're not doing an All-Star pod. We'll get to the All-Star pod after this. We'll do an All-Star pod. But let's get back to the Bulls. Off topic. Thaddeus Young, $13 million this year, 13.6 next year, and 14.3 the year after that. That's a long extension.
Is there no player option on Thaddeus's 3rd year?
I do not have a player option, no.
Okay, interesting.
because yeah, it's guaranteed. So is Satoransky. That was the
Okay,
whole thing.
okay.
That's why they came through, and that's what makes it hard for other
Ah, yeah,
teams.
yeah.
That's what makes it hard for other teams to wanna slide to wanna make trades with these guys because Thaddeus Young's name is out there a lot. Um, and I think for playoff teams, you could go about it that way, and it wouldn't be hard to trade him later if that's like really what you're worried about. Same thing with Satoransky, 9.5, 10 million next year, then 10.5 the year after that. Like, I feel like in used correctly, both these guys can still be effective, and a lot of these players are kind of like that. Like, I feel like Lauri is a very interesting piece. If the Bulls want to trade him, we'll get to discussions and negotiations with Lauri later anyway. Um, Zach LaVine, I don't know if the Bulls are going to want to trade, but he definitely has a lot of value. Like, where are you at as the Bulls with regards to giving like trading Thaddeus Young and Satoransky along with like Chris Dunn or something?
Yeah, I think both Thad Young and Chris Dunn can, even Satoransky, they can make a huge differential to a contending team in terms of they offer you pretty good defense aside from Satoransky, who's a 6-7 point guard. Like, that's certainly got some value in the league. And I think the matter of the Bulls is the matter of like the teams that want to trade the Bulls is what do you think you can get out of Thaddeus Young, because obviously he's aging, he's got a 3-year deal, and if it was 1 year, you could probably get quite a lot from him. But like, it's just a matter of teams like the Clippers saying, do we want this dude on our team for 3 seasons, paying this dude money? Like, if you know 2 years down the line he's not going to be providing just like similar value as he is now or in the previous years. And I do think that maybe the Clippers could be a good partner for Thad Young. But as to with Chris Dunn, I'd like to see that defensive backcourt of Patrick Beverley and Chris Dunn. That would lock a few teams up. But I don't know. I don't know what market sort of thing Thaddeus Young is, what you can get from him. I mean, if you're dealing with the Clippers, Mo Harkless would be great, but I mean, we can talk about that later, I guess.
We definitely will. Going back to Chicago, I'm still like caught up in my head about the guard situation. Like Jimmy Butler, I would say is probably a guard, or Middleton. I don't know if there's
He's a forward as well.
all those are forwards.
Yeah.
All right. Anyways, so then it would be Bradley Beal and Trey Young is the thing that you
Yeah.
would have to have a discussion about. All right, never mind. Let's get back to the Bulls. That just irked me because I had a list. Um,
Yeah.
Kobe White 5.3. I don't really think the Bulls are gonna want to trade Kobe White. Like it's gonna be it would need to be like a
Unless
very
it's a franchise changer.
it would be a different it would need to be a game changer type deal for
Yeah.
both teams for that to happen. Felicio is an interesting piece. Like his deal ends next year, which is like not that bad for a lot of teams because 2021 is the free agency year. So that 7.5 extra this year isn't that bad for a team to pick up if they're getting like a first round pick in return. So that's something that like I was considering as other GMs, and like attaching him to Thaddeus Young or whatever now gets you into like the $20 million range. So Thad Young, Felicio, and a first is an interesting package because Thad Young can help. Felicio is mostly just dead salary,
Yeah.
and then a first round pick kind of evens the scale a little bit there. So those are the types of things I was looking at as other GMs. Lauri is super interesting. Like I would like as the Bulls, if I were running the Bulls, I don't want to trade Lauri. And if I'm other teams, I think I want Lauri because I see how mishandled he is in that situation, and he's just a great player to have in today's NBA, I feel like.
Yeah, the thing with Larry, it's interesting too because like he's been performing badly, and I put out, I don't know if you saw, I put out quite a few videos on how the Bulls used him last season compared to this season, and taking away that mid-range game from him really just limits him. Like he's not just a stretch four; he can do a lot more things. He can put the ball on the deck, attacking closeouts he's good at, but he's got other ways to get to the basket rather than doing that. And obviously, under the system that Boylan or Fleming or whoever it is implemented, I mean, it's not really getting the best out of Markkinen as we've seen this season. Sure, part of that's on him, part of that's on the system, but I mean, his value is extremely low, and I don't think the Bulls would want to give up on him yet. But it's almost a decision as in like what you're going to do with him, because keep in mind LaVine is only just over a year older than Markkinen, and he's playing at an all-star level, and I don't see these two coexisting. So I feel like the Bulls have to go, maybe not this season, but maybe next season before Markkinen's next deal kicks in, if he's still on the Bulls, that which way are you going to go with? Are you going to go for Levine way or are you going to go for Markkinen way? Because I just can't see both of these dudes being like 1A and 1B. I think you kind of got to make a decision
No, I think
who's your main building block.
the I don't even think you need to make that choice. I think you need to have a point guard that can set both of them up. If you had a point guard that was actually making plays and then letting Zach to score, allowing Zach to score and cut, and like we've seen Zach cut on like Satoransky plays and like get that oop and stuff. And Lauri, if they just played in a system where they had a point guard and they were both playing off ball a lot more, but also when they're off ball catching in and driving, like you can use both of them so well if you're doing the right things as like if Otto Porter and then a nice like a point guard that can break the defense down. You you don't have anyone else that can do that, so Zach LaVine has to do it. And Zach LaVine, his strength is not playmaking, so then Lauri is isolated as well, and it just doesn't work. The whole thing just collapses. So for me, the Bulls, like if they had, you were saying Chris Paul a lot. I do really like that type of thing because he'll bring the defense, he'll bring the playmaking, he'll bring the leadership. Um, but it needs to be enabled, and that's why I think a lot of these Bulls players to teams that have like analytical measures or other scouting and like knowledge of how good these players can be if used correctly, I think they do still have value, and the Bulls are going to value them just as if other teams see that, because they're not just going to give up on a low value deal for Zach LaVine or Lowry. So a team needs to come in with an offer knowing what they're going to do with Zach LaVine and Lowry. That's the only way I would offer a decent package, which there's one package that I think is decent. We talked about this on our Bench Mob episode last week, so those of you who listen will know what I'm talking about. But Josh, you'll find out in a little bit. Wendell is basically the one guy that's untouchable. Would you agree with that?
Definitely, yep, yep.
Yeah, we don't. I mean, we don't really even need to discuss that. Again, it would need to be like a Kobe White same kind of discussion. It's like you need to really be offering something crazy.
Game changer.
Yeah. I have a game changer trade that I don't want to do, but I just want to discuss.
So do I.
That I just want to discuss. Like that's not. I wouldn't do it as at my team, and we'll get to it. Denzel, 3.3 million.
He'll get flipped. I can see the Bulls actually moving Denzel in the next couple of weeks. What do you think we can get from him in the second round? Like, Denzel's value is pretty low, but I think a contender could use like another 3-point shooter. I mean, the Lakers maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I feel you. All right, so Archie Diacono, Luke Cornett, Chandler Hutchison, Shaquille Harrison, Daniel Gafford. I mean, we can go on and on about all these players, obviously, but I think they, in terms of trade discussions, I don't know if anyone's going to really covet Archie Diacono, but he could be like a nice piece if you're losing point guard depth. If you're losing bench point guard depth to make a deal work, and then the Bulls just include Ryan Archie Diacono, that makes a lot of sense for a lot of different situations because he can actually play as a backup point guard, third string point guard.
Yep.
And teams do need that position. So that's at least good. Like Cornette, similar situation. I feel like if there was a deal involving Myers Leonard, I don't have one, but if there was a deal involving Myers Leonard and you kind of got Cornette back, but you upgraded another position, like Cornette, I feel like can provide that value. Hutchison is an interesting situation. He's kind of hurt all the time, and I don't know if the Bulls want to just add him in as a side piece to a trade because he actually does have some potential and value. So that's interesting. And then Gafford and Shaquille. Anything you want to add to these kind of end of the bench guys?
Nah, not too much. I mean, I think with Shaq, if the Bulls decide, okay, we're gonna bring another player in, obviously you're gonna have to waive him or add him in, but because his contract just became guaranteed only a week ago, so you can waive Shaq whenever you want. And Shaq's an interesting piece because, like, he's guaranteed. He doesn't play. He could probably be playing over some dudes like Archie Diacono.
Dude, he could. He's NBA rotation caliber. I'm sorry,
yes,
he should be in an NBA rotation. Everyone needs that, like, the role that Chris Dunn's playing with, like, not just awful offense, because Chris Dunn kind of has awful offense, but that Beverly type scenario, like Shaquille Harrison is one of the most athletic dudes in the league. That's slept on quite a bit. Even with Zach LaVine on this team, like, they talk about how Shaq Harrison is the most athletic player on the team.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so and he can defend and he could drive. I just like Shaq Harrison. It's also why I like Nwaba, who got
I
injured. I think,
think
right? Yeah, he got injured. Anyway,
yeah,
what were you
yeah.
saying?
I think with the Bulls too. The problem with Shaq, why they don't play him is because like the Bulls need a backup point guard, obviously, and he's not a point guard. And because when you run off the bench with Kobe, a Shaq and Kobe backcourt is probably a recipe for disaster. No real like facilitator. I mean, Archie Diacono isn't the greatest, but he'll make the heads up play. He actually won't turn the ball over. I know Shaq can get a little too ahead of himself sometimes, and so can Kobe. So I just the pairing isn't really the greatest. I think maybe Shaq would have potential if say Sato was coming off the bench and Kobe was starting. Or but I mean,
It's tough
the
to have
idea of Shaq and Kobe just doesn't go too well
it,
in my opinion. In my
it's
opinion.
it's tough to have Chris Dunn and Shaquille Harrison take up that much
Yeah,
percentage of your 1-2 rotation. It's just tough to do that. That's why like he's not getting enough time. If Chris Dunn was moved, you could pretty much fill in that role with Shaq Harrison. Like Chris Dunn's longer, but I do think Shaq Harrison can play a little
I
bit
think he's
more
a better.
offense.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. He's got a
you
better
know,
finishing game, and he's
yeah.
showing flashes of being a shooter this season compared to Dunn. I mean,
He at least has confidence when he's shooting it. Chris Dunn, when he
yeah,
shoots
yeah,
it,
yeah.
he
He was
never has
yesterday.
confidence. He never has confidence. So,
Yeah, I think it's the whole IQ thing. I think Chris Dunn's probably got a better basketball mind in terms of
yeah.
decision making. I think that could be the biggest difference. But the defense is similar. Sure, Shaq won't maybe get as many steals, but he definitely doesn't foul as much. And I think he might even be a better on the ball defender because he's definitely a lot quicker than Chris, and he's obviously a bit smaller, but laterally he's super fast. Shaq Harrison.
100%. Well, the last thing I want to say is we are going to do a full live mega mobs trade deadline on Sunday at 3 p.m. on YouTube. So go like just look out for that because I'm gonna be the Bulls GM. So right now I'm gonna do everything I can as other teams against Josh, who's the Bulls GM, and then I'm gonna play Bulls GM when we have like 5 other of the bench mob crew on and do our yearly Mega Mobs trade deadline special. So just wanted to plug that here. And Josh, are you ready to go to the negotiations?
Let's do it.
Let us do it. All right, 30 minutes on the clock, starting now. All right, I'm gonna let you make the first call.
So I'm sending you. I'm calling out a trade or
You are a GM and you are going on the phone to call to make a trade negotiation.
okay. Let's start this. So I'm calling the Phoenix Suns.
Phoenix Suns, I am here. How are you?
I'm doing well, and I'm offering you Kobe White, Thaddeus Young, Tomas Satoransky, and a 2022 unprotected
Mm-hmm.
in exchange for Kelly Oubre, Ricky Rubio, and Frank Kaminsky.
Oh man. Okay. So you gotta say that one more time. Thaddeus Young, Satoransky,
And Kobe,
and Kobe.
and a
Interesting.
second
And a
for
second. Yeah.
Oubre, Rubio, Kaminsky.
For Oubre, Rubio, Kaminsky. So as the Suns, I'm getting Thad, who will enter our rotation. Satoransky, who will also kind of fill in the Ricky Rubio role. Kobe White as a nice piece next to Devin Booker, Aiton. They can grow together. And I'm losing Kelly Oubre, who, I mean, I really like Kelly Oubre on my squad right now. He is providing that 3-4 wing kind of creator role. Could learn to pass better, but. And then Ricky Rubio. I feel like Ricky Rubio and Satoransky aren't like too different, to be fully honest. And then who was the last piece coming from my side?
Frank Kaminsky. Yep.
Frank Kaminsky. So Ricky Rubio, Kelly Oubre, and Frank Kaminsky.
Yep. For Kobe, Thaddeus, Tomas, and a 2022 unprotected.
Oh my. Oh my. Rubio, Oubre, and Kaminsky. That is interesting. All right, we're gonna table this. We're just gonna keep this on the docket, and we'll come back to it later because we got to get to all these other trades. Because Thaddeus Young, Satoransky, and Kobe might be in a lot of other trades.
Yeah.
So, but I'm highly considering it as the Suns.
Okay.
I'm high.
It's pretty even. For the Bulls' perspective, the idea of Kelly Oubre fixes so much wing depth and adds a player that can play on the ball, can play off the ball, is a scoring threat. Next to Zach and Larry, and then obviously Ricky Rubio and Zach had that chemistry from the Minnesota days. And Frank Kaminsky's just a nice backup four that can stretch the offense out from Bulls' perspective.
100%, but you got to convince me to do the trade here because you're the Bulls GM right now. I don't really care
All
how
right.
it's gonna affect
So
you.
So you get Tomas Satoransky, who's a big point guard. You could either have him start in the starting lineup next to Devin Booker, who can play off the obviously Sato can play off the ball. He can facilitate nicely, and then you get the Suns have been hunting for a backup point guard for a while. They're basically running a few G leaguers. You get Kobe White, who is obviously a lottery pick, who has the potential to be great, and obviously you got that veteran four that can help the Suns make that playoff run, and Thaddeus Young, who offers you like a lot of different things. Defensively, he's better than Kaminsky. Offensively, offers you that nice little low post game. He's a veteran in the locker room, and then obviously the unprotected second round pick just to top it off.
Yeah, no, that's highly interesting. Okay. We're gonna come back to this one. Let's go to other trades. Let's have this there. We just need to talk about all the trades for the sake of the pod.
Cool,
Um,
cool.
I'm gonna make a call as the Bucks.
Okay.
Dante DiVincenzo and DJ Wilson for Lauri Markkinen.
No picks, just straight up.
Just straight up.
So DiVincenzo and who was it? And
DJ
DJ Wilson.
DJ Wilson. So two young
I
dudes.
say no. I say no. From
What
the
if
Bulls.
what if we included the Indiana first rounder? That's top 10 protected, but like it's gonna convey.
No, I say no from the Bulls just because you're giving up. Okay, so I also don't see the fit to the Bucks because Giannis is the power forward.
I'm
Middleton is small
the
forward. Like,
Josh. We're on the clock. There's 30 minutes.
okay,
You are the Bulls, and I am the Bucks, and I'm all the other teams too. We have to
okay,
make so for me,
okay.
I want to do this deal. Like I want to do this deal as the
Yeah,
Bucks. And we'll
yeah.
analyze it afterwards. We'll do this discussion afterwards. But Dante DiVincenzo, DJ Wilson, and the Indiana first for Lauri Markkinen. Do you want to do it as the Bulls? You are the Bulls in
Bulls say
every case
no.
scenario here.
Bulls say no. You've got a chance at a perennial All Star in Markkinen, and you're giving it up for, I guess, DiVincenzo is a quality starter, but his ceiling is nowhere near matched to Markkinen and
Why
DJ
not?
Wilson.
Why not?
He doesn't have the offensive skill set that Markkinen has at his size. Markkinen is a rare breed in terms of him and Kristaps are the only players in the league that can do what he does at 7 feet tall.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like I agree, but DiVincenzo one does have some star potential. Like and DJ Wilson can he can ball out. And that's kind of what you're taking. You're taking two shots at young players developing, and trade that and a first rounder in Indiana's pick. That's probably going to land somewhere between like 2025 ish right now. For Lauri Markkinen, who's clearly not functioning within your system.
Also, the Bulls are loaded at the guard spot. You've Zach LaVine as your starting shooting guard, and Kobe White is your backup shooting guard, and that leaves really. I mean, DiVincenzo, I guess, can start the small forward, but when Otto gets back, Otto's your starter. I just don't see the minutes being there for Dante that obviously he's getting in the Bucks, and obviously for the Bulls. I mean, I want to keep my potential franchise player because of his ceiling and how young he is, 22 years old, and what he's showing us that he can bring to the table. And I mean, the Bulls, we know that he struggled this season in terms of in the system, like the Bulls not playing around him, but in the future, he can give you a lot, like for the Bulls.
All right, no, that's fine. We'll move on to another call. I'll let you make a call this time.
Okay, so I'm calling the Clippers,
Hello.
and I'm sending Thaddeus Young and Ryan Archie Diacono
Yeah.
in exchange for Maurice Harkless Terrence Mann, and a 2021 second round pick.
So I'll be fully honest with you. I wouldn't do Mo Harkless for Thaddeus Young straight up as the
You would
Clippers.
or you wouldn't?
I would
Okay.
not. I would not. And
Okay.
Man and Archie, like, to me, that's not too different. Like, I believe in his potential, and Archie is kind of, he is Archie, and we don't really have a lack of guard depth. So that kind of piece doesn't really add up. And then there's no reason for me to add the second rounder, if I already think that my side of the deal is better without it.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but staying on the Clippers, um, if we started a discussion around Mo Harkless and Thaddeus Young, for Thaddeus Young and Chris Dunn, and then we could include Patrick Patterson, would you guys be interested?
Sorry. So say that again. The full trade.
Harkless and
Yeah.
Patrick Patterson for Thaddeus Young and
Yeah.
Chris Dunn.
No, I say no from the
All
Bulls
right.
because you're getting two power forwards back. And you're giving up one, but you're also giving up a guard, and that really leaves an empty spot at
I mean,
your shooting guard. Or
Shaq Harrison can slide right into Chris Dunn's role, like we talked about, and then Mo Harkless would slide into Thad Young's role.
but does Thad really offer you?
Mo
I'm sure
Har-
we're
Mo
coming with
Harkless
Harkless. He's
Mo
going to give you
Harkless
that Thad doesn't. They're pretty similar players. I mean, Harkless
because
is more of a perimeter threat compared to Thad, but
Harkless is just a better player overall. He's more athletic. He's longer. He's better. Like he's just a better player than Thad Young at this point. Like last year, Thad Young I would compare to Mo Harkless, but this year Thad Young is nowhere near what Mo Harkless is providing on the defensive end, on the shooting, on the athleticism. Like you can, I just think that the only thing maybe that Thad Young does better is finishing. But this year he's not even really finishing at the rim at all. So that's why, and like that's exactly the position of need for you guys. Maybe right now, since you guys are so hurt, it's a little bit difficult. But you also get Patrick Patterson, who can fill in Thaddeus Young's role.
I would be more open to making that deal if
Like
you were
like
inclined to give Jerome Robinson,
I don't think
and the
that
Bulls could give up potentially a second round pick.
I don't think that we need to give up Jerome Robinson in this one. Like I genuinely think that Mo Harkless will slide exactly right where you need Otto Porter to, and Patrick Patterson can slide into what
Okay.
Thaddeus Young is doing. If you don't want to do it, that's fine. But I don't believe I need to give up more value there.
I say no just because I think you can
Okay.
get more for Chris Dunn than what obviously Patterson brings to you compared to Harkless, but slightly better than Young, and Dunn's a lot better than Patterson. So I think it's a little bit.
That's fine.
I mean, it's pretty even.
No, that's fine.
I say no. I say no.
That's fine. I'll make a call now. Alan Crabb, or
Yep.
sorry, Minnesota Timberwolves here.
Yep.
So Alan Crabb and Jordan Bell for Thaddeus Young and Chris Dunn
Alan Crabb.
and Jordan
Um,
Bell.
Wasn't Alan Crabb on the Nets like 2 weeks ago?
He just got traded. He just got traded to the Wolves.
Okay. Okay. Um, for Thaddeus Young and Chris Dunn. So, Alan Crabb, how old is Alan Crabb? What's his?
He's like 32. I'm looking right now.
And he's
No,
expiring.
no.
Right?
He's 27.
27. Wow. And he's
27.
expiring, correct?
18. Yeah, 18.5 expiring.
Okay. And then you've got who's the other player? Jordan Bell. And is this his last year of his rookie deal, or is he?
Actually, never mind. I don't want Thaddeus Young. The Wolves don't want to pay. Actually, no. I think I'm still good. Are you good with this deal? I want to see where you're at.
So what's Jordan Bell's contract looking like? I need to bring this up. How many years does he have left on this?
He's restricted. He's minimum right now, but
Okay.
restricted this year. At the end of this year.
Is he a reliable power forward? Can you plug him in at the power forward next to Daniel Gafford? Is my question off the bench, and can that be
I would
a
say he's a
reliable
center. I would say he's a center. I don't think he's a power forward. Like he could play both.
Okay.
He can play both, but like I would say he's definitely more of a center.
So the Crab thing is good because doing this we're gonna get off Thaddeus Young's deal, which gives us more cap. But at the end of the day, the Bulls are really kind of waiting for the 2021 free agency, which is when Thad Young's deal expires anyway. And
No,
obviously
no, he.
Crabs.
It doesn't expire then. It goes into that
Oh,
season.
it
There's
goes over. Okay, okay. Um, I like the Crab idea because if the Bulls are going to make a playoff run, he's actually not a bad piece to plug in off the bench at the small forward, can shoot the ball quite well. I'm pretty sure he's a valid defender too. But the Jordan Bell thing, for me, I don't want on my team because he cannot stretch the floor. He's not a good three-point shooter. And putting that next to Daniel Gafford just completely denies any floor spacing if you're going to run these two off the bench. I know that does mean more opportunity, more minutes for Markkinen, but you look at your main four front court pieces and Carter Jr., Gafford, Bell, Markkinen. One of those dudes is a reliable three-point shooter. I mean, and if the Bulls are going to continue to run the style of taking a lot of threes, you got to have, shooters around. I know Thaddeus Young isn't the greatest shooter, but he can knock it down, and Jordan Bell doesn't offer me that. So that's why I like the Harkless deal, obviously, because Harkless is a good three-point shooter. But yeah, I say no from the Bulls. Just considering the pairing with Bell and Gafford, I don't like. They're pretty similar players, and I think Gafford's got a higher ceiling.
all right. You can make a call now.
Okay, I'm calling Memphis.
Hello, I didn't have one from Memphis.
Okay, Otto Porter Jr., Shaquille Harrison, and a 2022 swap best in exchange for Andre Iguodala, Josh Jackson, and 2022 swap worst.
Iguodala, Josh Jackson, and the swap worst. And then what you have? What or are you sending me?
So I'm sending you Otto and Shaq and a swap best.
Otto and Shaq. Interesting. Otto and Shaq for Iggy and Josh Jackson. Ooh, I like this trade. Um, is Josh Jackson getting minutes? That's the one thing.
No,
He's
he's
not,
barely
right?
playing this season.
He's
No.
not. He's not. Okay. Honestly, I think I'm gonna do this deal. I'm down to do this deal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What I like for your perspective as well is that
We'll get to that. We'll get to
either
the
way,
analysis. We'll get to the
okay,
analysis.
okay,
We'll get to the analysis because we have 14 minutes, 14 and a half minutes left. The buzzer comes down
okay.
to it, man. We have to get these trades in and then we'll analyze them after. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
so okay, so that's a crazy deal. Andre Iguodala, Josh Jackson, and a pick swap or Otto Porter, Shaquille Harrison, and a pick swap for Iggy and Josh Jackson.
Josh Jackson.
That's
Yep.
wild. I like that for both sides, honestly. Okay, moving on. Let's go. I'm gonna make a call from Portland.
Okay.
Um, CJ McCollum for Zach LaVine and Thaddeus Young.
Bulls say no.
Bulls say no. All right. Is there any wiggle room there? Like, or are we? Is it just like a hard no?
Uh, I mean, I view Zach and CJ to be pretty similar. I know CJ is a winning player, but when you're playing for top point guard, of course you're going to be a winning player. I like Zach's ceiling a little more than CJ. He's younger. He's proven more at the same age. I think they're pretty even players.
I agree.
And obviously,
Exactly
yeah,
my
I say
thoughts.
no. I say no.
All right, I'm gonna get to the crazy one right now. We're not gonna spend too much
Okay.
time on it because I wouldn't do this if I'm Philly, just because of like, I mean, I would consider it more than other people, but I still probably
Okay.
wouldn't do it. But okay, Embiid for Lowry, Wendell, and Kobe White.
Whoa. Okay. Okay. Um. So Joel Embiid straight up for Wendell Carter Jr.
Lowry and Kobe White. I
Ryan
actually had a
Lochte,
first in there
Kobe
too. But
White.
yeah, I actually had a first in there coming from you guys too. But I just want to get your quick thoughts on that as the Bulls.
Okay, so my biggest concern with Joel Embiid on the team is that his
Would you
health
do it
is
if you're the
so
Bulls? Would you
bad.
do it if you're the Bulls? Because we have not too much time left.
No,
Okay,
I
okay.
wouldn't.
We'll
I
get
think
to
giving up too much.
we'll get to the details after. Do you have a call to make?
Yes,
Go ahead.
this is a big one. Actually, I've got a couple. So
Go ahead.
both of you have a thunder. First one being The Bulls send Chandler Hutchison, Thaddeus Young, 2021 first round top 10 protected in exchange for Dennis Schroeder and Mike Muscala.
Say that again. Your side of it. I have
So,
Dennis Schroeder and Mike Muscala down, but
yep, Hutch, Thad Young, 2021 first round top 10 protected.
for Schroeder and Muscala,
Yep,
you would do that as the Bulls.
yep.
Oh my goodness.
Schroeder's playing at an all-star level. Schroeder has been
Uh,
obviously the minutes and the usage is low, but he's having his best year yet.
Thaddeus Young, Chandler Hutchison, and Muscala. I'm down. Or and a first and a top end protected first. I am down.
Okay, done.
All right. I
Oh,
highly
so I'll bring
disagree
another
as
one
the
quickly.
Bulls. Highly disagree as the Bulls.
Okay, okay. I'll throw you one more. I'll throw you one more.
Actually, yeah.
So
Let's hold that one too because there are other deals. You need to decide because you still have the Suns deal on the table, so you need to decide
yeah,
which one you would rather do still.
yep, yep. This
So
is the okay. I've got one more with OKC as
go
well.
ahead.
So I'm calling OKC. I'm giving you this is a big one. Larry Markkinen, Otto Porter Jr., Cristiano Felicio, and a 2021 second unprotected to OKC in exchange for Chris Paul, Terrence Ferguson, Nerlens Noel,
Lauri Markkanen, Cristiano Felicio, and Otto Porter for
and a
Chris.
2021 second.
Yeah, and a 2021 second for Chris Paul, Terrence Ferguson, and who?
Nerlens Noel.
Nerlens Noel. Very interesting. So Chris Paul's obviously been balling. We're in the 7 seed. I do love Lowry, but I do think that the playoffs are important right now, especially since we're well within reach and like have some space between us and the 8 seed. And if we keep this going, um,
You would want to give Shia the reins to the starting point
no,
guard,
no.
or
I
would you
mean,
wait
I
until
mean,
next
I would,
season?
I do want to eventually, but I think Shea getting the reins after a playoff run is a lot more valuable than him. Like him and Chris Paul can play together too. It's not like the best lineups is when both of them are out there. So it's not like we're limiting him in the playoffs. He's gonna get the majority. He's gonna get starters minutes. He might even start at some point. So I don't necessarily think Chris Paul is limiting Shea, especially if you look at just lineup numbers. Those lineups are the best in the league at this point. Um, so I think I'm good off trading Chris Paul. Just what he's doing right now is amazing. He's letting our young guys grow, being a leader, and also winning us games. So it's the combination of everything that we need right now. But as the Thunder, I do have a trade for you, that I want to make a call
Okay.
on. Danilo Gallinari and Mike Muscala for Thaddeus Young, Felicio, and a top 5 protected first rounder.
I say no just because Gallinari is expiring, Muscala is expiring, and chances of those two sticking around is slim. But obviously don't really fit the
But that's for this
timeline.
year. Thaddeus Young
Yeah,
doesn't fit the
but
timeline either. Gallinari this
he's your
year.
veteran. He's got 3 years on his deal, and if the Bulls still want to make the playoffs, this is a great trade. But you gotta think realistically, is that still a goal? If you ask me this trade, like, before the Bulls were plus 10 games negative, maybe, it'd be a different story. But I just don't see it when. Oh, actually, no, I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna take it.
You go
Just
what?
because I'm gonna take it, okay? So it's Gallinari
Oh
and
my
Muscala for
god.
Thad
All right,
Young
you have to
and
keep in mind. Okay, this is the first time you're doing a deadline though, so it's all good, but you have 2 other
yeah.
Thaddeus Young deals on the line right now, and we still have 8 more minutes. So the Phoenix Suns deal,
Oh, okay,
right?
okay.
So at the end you need to decide. Normally I'm in your position. You need to decide which one you're taking.
Oh, okay. Then no, in that case, I like the Suns deal.
All right, well, just don't tell me that now. Just you're gonna make
Okay.
up your mind later. Um, We're going to. I'm gonna make a call real quick. Sorry, real
Yep.
quick. What do I want? What do I want? Oh, Dallas.
Ellis.
Finney Smith, Courtney Lee, and Boban for Thaddeus Young, Sadaransky, and a second round pick.
So, Boban, Finney Smith, Courtney Lee. And Courtney Lee is an expiring deal. Boban also expiring, or what's his contract?
Boban, I got you. Boban is 7 million, if I'm not wrong. No, he was 3.5 this year and next year, so 7 million total. Three and a
Okay.
half, and then next year too, 3.5.
Now, I like the Finney Smith. He's had a really good season starting in Dallas. And I'm quite enticed to take this trade because I like the idea of giving like a starting point guard. And if by then, if I do this trade and the Bulls are out of the playoffs at this point, you can give Kobe the reins to start, and they can
Can
focus on
we
player development
can we add Luke Cornett as well on your side?
in exchange for
Just
nobody else.
Well, yeah, that's what I would like
Okay,
Cornett back in
yeah,
this deal because
yeah.
I just realized that Dwight Powell ended his season and then trading away Boban and then not getting a big back like that. So I mean, Thaddeus Young is a big, but like I just feel like I need that depth because Boban was that security blanket that I would no longer have. But Cornett can be.
I like that because I like the idea of Finney Smith on the team. He's having a really good season. He's shooting the three at 38%, giving you 5 rebounds, 10 points. I like this deal. I think Satoransky's hard to move by, but this just opens an opportunity for us to give
Um,
Kobe the reins.
you know, I think I'm gonna because what are these contract situations? I might just not do this, man. Honestly, because the
You don't want to do
contracts.
this? Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Like, I feel like we can have a max slot in 2 years, but if we do this, then that's. Oh, but I feel like I can easily trade Thad Young and Sadaransky if that was the case. Like last expiring deal, Thad Young and
Maybe
Sadaransky,
last year of the contract,
it
yeah.
like wouldn't be that hard, especially if they're playing under Carlisle, who's gonna make them look better, and Doncic, who's gonna make them. Honestly, I think, and then who would my wing rotation be? I would have Justin Jackson and
Tim
Tim
Hardaway.
Hardaway. Finney Smith is nice. Oh man. I'm gonna backtrack, man.
Okay.
Yeah, playoff rotations die down, like go down, and I think Finney Smith is a very important piece. Oh, that's my
Yep.
fault. That's my fault. Let's do. Do you have one more?
I've got one more.
Yeah, go
So I'm
ahead.
calling the LA Lakers.
L.A. Ooh, hello. A lot of rumors been going around. I don't know if I believe them though.
So this one isn't too big, but it is involving Kyle Kuzma, and I'm giving you Chris Dunn, Denzel Valentine, a 2020 unprotected second, a 2021 unprotected second, in exchange for Kyle Kuzma and Quinn Cook
Kyle Kuzma, and Quinn Cook for Chris Dunn in 2 seconds, or a first and a second.
and Denzel. 2 seconds, Denzel and Chris Dunn. I
Ah,
could maybe
no.
switch that pick around to
Uh,
a second with a protection
no,
in the
a first with the
2020.
protection, you mean?
Yeah. So I'm gonna have a second unprotected in 2021,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna have a top 10 protected 2020 first round pick.
Top 10. Yeah. I mean, it would need to be a first for us to consider it because that's just under. I'm not getting nearly as much back for Kuzma as I should if it wasn't the first round pick. Now it's a little bit more equal. Chris Dunn and Denzel, are those the, like, do I do get a first back, which is nice. I think Chris Dunn can play. It's just like I don't. I think Kuzma's just provides a lot more than both. He can play defense and he can play offense. Like, I'd rather have one guy that
Okay.
can do both than two guys that can only do one each. You know.
I get you.
So, and then the
Yeah.
first, I guess, doesn't make up for that loss in value. Even though it's pretty close, like I just don't think messing up our flow right now is worth it. Did you have any more?
Yep. One more, and
One
that's
more.
the Miami Heat.
Okay. Hello, Miami.
Um, so this is an interesting one, and it
3 minutes,
actually,
by the way. 3 minutes left.
cool. This one involves a new opportunity for Dion Waiters, and this one is going to be Chris Dunn and Chandler Hutchison to the Heat for Dion Waiters and Derek Jones Jr.
Chris Dunn and Chandler Hutchison for Dion Waiters and Derek Jones. So how valuable is Derek Jones to us right now on this minimum? We're probably going to need to re-sign him. He has been part of this athletic. God. So Derek Jones and Dion Waiters for Chris Dunn and Chandler Hutchison. Honestly, I think Hutchison can do. I think I want to do that. Yeah, I'm down to do this.
Cool.
Done. So yeah, Chris Dunn and Chandler Hutchison. Was Chris Dunn in any other deals that you were considering? You didn't want to do the Allen Crabbe one because you had the Allen Crabbe, Jordan Belfort, Thaddeus Young, and Chris Dunn. I don't know if you actually wanted to do that one. You had the Suns.
And you declined the Lakers one.
I declined the Lakers one. You had the Suns one left.
Suns had Kobe, Thad, and Seta.
And then the OKC, Dennis Schroeder and Muscala for Thad Young, Hutchison, and a top 10 protected first. I'm not gonna let you do that to yourself, and I'll explain why. There's 145 left. Okay. I'm not. Yeah, I'm just gonna deny that one. And then we didn't do the Chris Paul one. Yeah. So which one do you do? The Suns or the last one we discussed?
So the Suns was Kobe, Thad, and Seta.
Oh, so we can do both, I think.
We can do both, yeah.
Because that one's just Hutchison and Chris Dunn.
First one's Kobe, Young, and Seta, yeah.
Kobe, Young, and Seta. And then I need to decide if I want to do it as the Suns. Was the place we were stuck at. Thaddeus Young. Oubre's better than Thaddeus Young by a lot.
Yep.
And then Satoransky and Ricky Rubio are kind of a wash. And then I'm betting on Kobe White for a young potential guy who can actually. But the Suns are then going to be taking on 3 years, having both that. Sorry, how much time do I have? 41 seconds. Which one do you prefer? Or you can do both. So you're doing one. So let's do the Heat one.
The Heat and the Suns is my two.
Yeah, the Heat we can do for sure. And then I'm just deciding on the Suns side if I actually want to do this deal. Because then I would have... So Ricky Rubio and Satoransky, and he actually is 3 years anyway. Honestly, yeah, I think I'll do it if I'm the Suns.
Okay. So we got two done deals.
2 deals done. 9 seconds left. 8 seconds left. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Buzzer. All right. Let's talk about this. First of all, how are you going to do the freaking OKC deal? Why is Dennis Schroeder worth Thaddeus Young, Hutchison, and a top 10 protected first?
So the Bulls need scoring. Thad Young and Hutch simply don't give you scoring.
I'll be honest with you. I wouldn't, if I'm the Bulls, I wouldn't give up a top 10 protected first alone for Dennis Schroeder. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that alone. I don't think Schroeder is worth a first rounder. I mean, he's playing really well. I'm not going to take anything away from him, but he just, for me, isn't really is this going to be what he is now? I don't necessarily think that we can ignore everything that he's done in his tendencies and how great the situation is for him. If I'm the Bulls and putting Schroeder in the Bulls situation, there's no way he's going to be used correctly. But not only that, I'm down for Schroeder to come, but Hutchison and Thaddeus Young, Hutchison I still believe in. Thaddeus Young I'm kind of down. I that's fine. Thaddeus Young in a first would but giving up all three seemed weird to me. I'm curious what your thing is, your rationale.
So I could have actually probably changed that pick to a second, but trying to work out what Dennis Schroeder's value is hard because what's he doing? He's doing 18, 4 and 4 on 46, 36 splits as off the bench. And while I like this deal just for the Bulls, is just you're going to bring another scorer to pair off Zach LaVine that can actually, give you consistent offense, which the Bulls need because they rank close to dead last in the league. And giving up Hutch is bad. I mean, that could be switched around for Denzel potentially. I do like the idea of bringing Schroeder. I was just trying to work out what his value actually is, what we can actually get, what Schroeder's really worth, because he's playing in a super high level, but You don't think he's worth a top 10 protected first that the chances are the Bulls are actually going to keep?
I would argue that for maybe the right team, you could do that. I just don't think the Bulls should be bringing back Schroeder for a first. Like Schroeder doesn't do anything. They already have Dunn and Shaq Harrison. I guess you traded Dunn in the other deal, right?
Well, wait, sorry, say it again.
Didn't you trade Dunn in another deal?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Sorry. So Dunn's gone to the Heat for Waiters and Jones and Hutch.
You
Yeah,
did touch both times.
yeah, yeah. Sorry, yeah,
It's fine. It's fine. That's not your fault.
yeah.
It's tough to keep track of all of it. I don't blame you. Um, but
So we're gonna wipe that Thunder one. Yeah.
we didn't do the Thunder one anyway, so we're all good.
Okay.
This one we're just talking about. The one you did do. So let's just move on. The one that we did do was the Suns deal. Kelly Oubre, Ricky Rubio,
Yes.
and Frank Kaminsky for Thad Young, Saturansky, and Kobe White. I think you sent me this before, and I said I wouldn't do it, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And then you
Oh, I
changed.
sent you a
You
different
said
one.
you
I sent you a
sent you
different
sent me
one.
this with Cam Johnson, and I said I wouldn't do it if
Yeah,
I'm the
yeah,
Suns. And you changed Cam
yeah,
Johnson to Frank Kaminsky, and I think adjusted the value very correctly there. Because
yeah.
for me, I love Oubre. It's tough to give up on Oubre. I just think that Kobe White's potential is real, and I'm betting
Sure.
on Kobe White becoming something. I think Saturansky will give you very close to what Ricky Rubio gives you. Um, and I think Thaddeus Young can fill in Oubre's spot. Kaminsky, fine, like has been playing better this year than before, but he's not really someone I'm worried about losing, especially if I'm getting like a high young talented player like Kobe White. And I think he can do more than just pull it every time he touches it if in the right system. Like
Yeah, yeah. And for me, with this trade too, Rubio is one of the best transition point guards in the league. And obviously the Bulls want to play in transition. He's the key to unlocking him. He's got that really nice chemistry of Zach LaVine. I've watched some LaVine Minnesota tape, and their two-man game on transition on the fast break was really good. I like the idea of Rubio as a team's facilitator. He's averaging 9 assists this season. Kaminsky can bring you in that stretch four role. Can play a little bit of defense, but I mean you can actually play him in the role that the Bulls are playing Thad Young in, and you're going to get more out of Frank Kaminsky. They want to run him as a stretch four, and then obviously Kelly Oubre is just that scorer you can plug next to Levine and Markkinen, and I mean Oubre doesn't need the most touches. He's not a first option, but damn, he can be a really good second or third option. Sure, he's got an improving 3-point game, but he's one of the better finishing wings, and he's actually a pretty underrated defender too, averaging 1.6 steals and one block a game for a small forward. So I like this deal from my perspective. Just
I
getting in
love
Kelly,
this.
I'm a huge fan of it.
I
And
love this
Ricky
for
is
the
just a good point
Bulls.
guard.
For the Bulls, I love it for the Bulls. Kelly Oubre is exactly what I mean. You lose Kobe, and Kobe's really the swing piece in this trade. Like for me, it's a
Yeah,
bad trade unless like Kobe becomes something. Like I said, I think the third year guaranteed on Thaddeus Young and Saturansky is a little bit overblown, just because of like if they stay steady, like they're gonna be able to be traded again for
mm,
for
in their
different
final year. Yeah,
type of pieces. It won't be too difficult. And in fact, sometimes it's valuable to have those kind of contracts, and they already have it with Oubre and Ricky Rubio anyway. So it kind of just evens that situation out a little bit. So I don't know if anyone lost, it's me, but I like having Kobe back and solidifying that future point guard role instead of kind of just cycling through veterans continually.
yeah.
Um,
The other one, Lou, that we both agreed on was the Otto and Shaq for Andre and Josh Jackson as well.
that was a great trade too, dude. Did you think of both of these? I feel like those two
Yeah, I
are my
did think of
favorite
it.
trades, two favorite trades of the day.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of pissed that I didn't come up with them. So, Iguodala and Josh Jackson for Otto Porter and Shaq Harrison and a second. I love
Yes.
that, like because it's Iggy doesn't play anyway for us, but Otto Porter
Exactly.
might, and Otto Porter
And you'll
might
get an
like
Otto next year too.
100%, and we're
And he's gonna be
rolling.
big for Jaron and Ja. He's gonna be big at playing that off ball
We're
wing
rolling
role.
without him. We're rolling without Otto
Yeah.
Porter. So like I'm good to continue going without anyone filling in that role for a little bit because we're already doing well. And then just Otto Porter coming in like either off the bench or to start, like he can just slide in very well right there. And then Shaq Harrison, I mean, I talked about how much I love Shaq Harrison in the intro before, so I love adding that to the roster and a second
Him and
rounder.
Melton off the bench
We're not
in
even
that big
using
front
Josh
court.
Jackson. We're not even using
Yeah.
Josh Jackson. And in a very weird way, I love it for the Bulls also because you get Andre Iguodala who can play because Otto's not been playing, and we need defense on the wings. We need just a wing in general, and Andre is going to provide the
And he's a
leadership,
veteran.
veteran
Yeah.
champion leadership. He'll keep like everyone in check, not just the players, but Boylan too. And then you have Josh Jackson, who's just a flyer that, like, yeah, maybe he won't become anything, but a flyer is great for a team like the Bulls who can use any help on the wings. Like, you can give Josh Jackson minutes right away just because of the lack of wing depth.
Yep.
And
And for me too,
yeah, go ahead.
simply why I
Go
love this
ahead, man.
deal
I love this
for
deal.
the Bulls, is that you get rid of Otto, and suddenly the small forward spot is wide open because Iggy, there's a good chance he leaves in free agency because he might want another championship, and I wouldn't blame him if he wants to leave. Like he could probably get a reasonable offer chucked at him, and Jackson's a free agent too. The Bulls can re-sign this guy for 1 year and say to him basically, like, prove yourself. You and Chandler Hutchison, one of you two can potentially be the starting small forward. I want you two to dogfight it in training camp, like what Dunn and Seto would do. I want you two to dogfight it, and the best is going to start because Jackson and Hutch are very even players, and whoever develops better, like one of these two could become your small forward of the future, and if not, like they're both going to expire sooner than later. I mean, if you give Jackson a 1 year extension and he can expire, you can get rid of him, and then look at that, you got more cap space, and you can even sign a small forward, or you could flip Chandler Hutchison and a pick for a better small forward like later down the track. So I like the idea for the Bulls that this gives a chance, one last opportunity for Jackson before he's potentially out of the league to prove himself. Like this is a shot. The Bulls need a small forward. Like you're not going to get a better opportunity than that.
Yeah, no, I mean, I didn't look at the Grizzlies really that hard because I was running out of time. Iggy for Otto makes sense, like just to kind of as a framework, but like this trade that you ended up coming up with was great. And so now the Bulls, they end up with a roster, a decent roster. So they gave up on Kobe. So it's not gave up, but like you know what I mean. So it's Ricky
Yep,
Rubio,
yep,
Zach LaVine, Kelly
yep.
Oubre, Andre Iguodala, and Wendell Carter, or Lowry Markkinen and Wendell Carter, with Iggy as the sixth
Ooh.
man, Chris Dunn. No, Chris Dunn
Now
was
Dunn's in Miami. Yeah,
Dunn's in
yeah. We got
Miami.
Jones and Waiters. We got Jones and Waiters.
Waiters Reclamation Project. Um, Waiter or Derek Jones, who's also a wing. So now the Bulls are just flooded with wings all of a sudden because Josh
Ooh.
Jackson is right there too, and you still got Cornette. Are the
And
roster?
Gafford
So we did 3 for 3 on Suns. We did
and Kaminsky.
2 for 2 on the Iggy deal, and then we did 1 for 1. Or for Miami, we did
Two for
Chris
two.
2 for 2. Damn, and no overlap on the Bulls players. So Chris Dunn and who went to the Heat?
And Hutch. So I believe the Bulls for
No
small forward
overlap.
Jones.
No overlap.
Jones
Wow.
at small forward, Iggy at small forward, Jackson at small forward. That it's a pretty good wing rotation. They can
Iggy,
all dog it
yeah,
out.
no, Josh, I commend
And
you.
Kelly at starting small forward. You can maybe even flip Iggy if you say he wants to go to contender, like take on an expiring
Dude, you
deal
can
with
play.
some
You can
random.
play. You can play. Zach LaVine, Kelly Oubre, Iggy, Lowry, or Wendell. Like so much
I
versatility.
love that.
So much Oh my
So
god,
much.
dude! I am going
Imagine
to.
the high flyers with
You
Gafford,
killed it,
Valentine, and
bro.
Jones.
You
The
killed
dunks.
this deadline. I'm gonna make this roster. Like I'm gonna make the cap sheet for this potential roster. Put these trades
Okay.
and just like put it out there because this is awesome. The Bulls need to be doing this. Of course, we'll find a way to use everyone incorrectly.
Oh yeah, especially under this head coach and this system. Like Oubre is going to be shooting threes all game. You know, Josh Jackson's not going to be touching the ball. Oh, it's going to be great.
100%.
Iggy,
All right.
Iggy will talk back to Boylan though. Like that's no Iggy. He's not going to take no shit. If
He will
Kim
not.
says, you know, you're doing this, he's like, nope.
Man, all right. I love this for the Bulls. And the thing is, like, besides the Suns, I'm all in on the other deals on the Miami Heat side and um, the Sun side. I mean, no, the Heat
Yeah.
side and the
And we have Dion Waiters
the
as well.
Memphis side. Yeah, Memphis.
He can
Yeah,
reprove himself.
but the Suns is the only one I was questioning because of Kelly Oubre. But I think White
Yeah,
does it for me there. So
and you get the pick
I
too, so
like it
it's
for
good.
all the other teams, all the other three teams too. So we killed it. We killed it, Josh. I applaud you for coming up with those trades, and I applaud our
Man, I was thinking of
listeners.
these.
I applaud our listeners for sticking through that. Hope you guys had fun at the Bench Mob NBA at Bullish Hoops. Go check out the other if you're not already. And Josh, anything you have to plug lately?
Nah, not yet, man. I mean, I put out quite a few things these last couple of weeks, so just thinking of some new ideas.
What
Just
did you
hope the
put
boys can
out?
turn it around. Oh, I put out a management slash Jim Boylan slander article. I mean, if you guys want some negativity,
If you
I'd check
guys
that
want
out.
some
But if you don't, I
negativity,
probably would not want to check that out.
hit up Josh
And
for
obviously, I
some
did a Wendell
negativity.
piece last week too. I, oh man, I did a Wendell piece last week too on why he's the Bulls' most valuable player, and obviously Zach LaVine's the best player, but I view Wendell as our most valuable player because we have basically crumbled without him.
Go check him out at Josh J Bulls Hoops as well, everyone. We'll be talking to you soon. Sign up for my newsletter. I'll include the link. Weekly newsletter starting February 15th. If you're on
Yes, check it
YouTube,
out.
I'm sending these Excel documents, my trade sheet documents, like all the things, and then a bunch of other resources that honestly is only going to help you guys do better NBA research. So I just want to share everything that I've been using and learning and everything. So sign up for that. Link is in the podcast description or in my Twitter pinned tweet. You were saying, Josh, something?
Nah, man, nah, that's it.
All
Nothing
right.
else.
February 3rd, check out the newsletter, sign up, Google Forms. Peace out.